Okay, we're recording.
Cool.
So are you able to share your screen to do a demo?
Yeah, I'm just sharing it. Just 1 minute. Yeah. What is that? Okay. So
Okay.
yeah.
So hi everyone, Akash here. We have something like for demo. So we are using My Online or SaaS platform. So this is what we did in like MO. What we did is like we separated out the volumes topology. In here we show the disk SPC, like SPC, no, storage classes PV, PVC, and their application pods, and some custom resources that are like only utilized by OpenEBS. They are the like OpenEBS specific things. So
Yeah.
first thing is like something like this we did for status. Like there are different type of status like unknown, initializing, like reloading, or something like that, like failed or offline. So we have some different icons for the status. So as soon as the status changes, the icon gets changed here. So by this we can like know the status without like going to the overview box, that what's the status or what is something.
Yeah.
Another thing that we did is like describe. So just like you can see, the status is healthy. So it is like, sorry, excuse me. sorry.
That's fine.
So here you can see like the status is healthy, and the icon is like a normal icon. If like this status change, then one more icon will come, just like the tag for a snapshot, volume snapshots. So this is something similar to that. We use tag only like for different type of like status. Another thing is,
can I ask a question?
yeah, sure.
I got a little confused with the C versus the like square box.
Okay, so
is that part of it?
Yeah, Brand, I'll just quickly walk you through this. So basically, in OpenEBS, these things are quietly, like all things are OpenEBS specific, and except, in our generic scope, like we only have from pod, PVC, and PV, up to this only. In OpenEBS, we have the concept of, target volume. So this is target volume, and this is the replica of that. So there are 3 replica for these volumes, and below that actually there is a storage pool, and that storage pool on which this storage pool is residing. So this is the disk. Okay, so this is disk storage pool, and these are the target and replicas. So basically, you can have a, like, this was our kind of end goal, like user should be able to see from his application pod to all the way through, like, to the disk. Okay, so now they can see it using this.
The square thing is part of specific to OpenEBS.
Yeah, that's true. So that is one thing, like, which we have added. Like, these are the custom resources which we just extended the way we have done for the snapshots. Okay, and like, we have the tool, open source tool, which is Node Device Manager or Node Disk Manager, that gives us information about disk, what are the disks attached to your host, and everything related to that. And one more thing which we have added is like this describe thing. Okay, so you can describe any resource,
any Kubernetes resource.
So this was addition, Akash, during KubeCon time. So yeah, and so this is quite useful for users to, like, they don't need to go inside like kubectl and do the describe. Only thing is like events, which Kubernetes does not store events for more time,
5 minutes.
more than 5 minutes. So it won't show the events here. So that is only disadvantage.
No, but like
yeah,
if event is there, like then it will show. Otherwise, as soon as like the events are gone from the etcd, then this will be like.
So when event is like emitting, then it should be there. Okay. So yeah.
So I like the I like the ability to get to the described data. I think doing it in a terminal window is a little ugly, but
yeah. Now let's see what you can get for the pod.
There's an event.
So there is no event emitting right now, so there won't be an event at the bottom, but rest of the information you can actually have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an okay idea. I mean, is it literally running kubectl describe?
So I'm using the like client of kubectl only for like there is a like for each resource they have a different describe function. So I'm using that kubectl like code in our library.
Oh, you pulled the code in. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not running like kubectl, but I'm using the client for running that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that like? Is it exposed as a library, or are you copy pasting it in a different form?
It is exposed as a library, like kubectl library is exposed there, so you don't have to run any CLI commands. You can do everything.
What he mean is we vendored it, or
we vendored it actually.
Sure.
Okay.
So in addition to this, we already also did like we moved client to 10, from 8 to 10. We moved it, and one issue was there like the scale functions which we are using for deployment, scale up and scale down. So they removed from client 10, that was removed. So I have used the like deployment thing, like update deployment, update replicas for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So earlier we are using scales for that. So we are going and creating like for deployment, create a scale for that, and we are using that scales function to get the like scale up and scale down.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope like this much is clear. Our main intention was like to show pods view is there, right? So we have that issue file even Matthias was talking about, where if we apply any filter, so PVC and like PV and storage classes were appearing, right? So that issue, like we got some idea, something like, why not to break this topology into like volumes and put it under the host. We are deliberately not putting it below the services, because this will get extended somewhat, and on small screen it will be like half screen heading. So we had no way, so we put it below the host, and in the volumes you can see like all the there are now in OpenEBS, like we have a requirement where we want to show both the things, okay? Such as these are the custom resources view right now. If you put show pods view here, so you can see that this is our PV and this is the controller, basically target pod. This is replica pod and other pods, like other replica pods. So this is how like we are utilizing this show pods and custom resources. And if we do show snapshots, so it will show you the snapshots. And one addition which we have done is like
so the addition is like if we clone it's like clone a PV from a snapshot. If we clone a snapshot, that will create a PVC and PV. So what we did, we added an adjacency, like from like this PVC is cloned from where. So it will like add an adjacency between the snapshot and the PVC, clone PVC.
Right. So let us try to clone it. So yes. So you can see that this is the new PVC created out of this particular snapshot, and this snapshot is actually, uh, you can see like this is the new PVC which is created from this snapshot.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a new addition. And apart from this, like, we have one scope plugin written which can tell you, like, live statistics for the particular volumes. Okay, so right now there is no load running. So, okay, let me minimize Brian. Okay, so here you can see that all 4 graphs are appearing here. Actually, when we run some load on this particular database, so this statistics, this metrics will appear here. So this is done using, like, we have written one OpenEBS scope plugin, which is nothing but, like, which is pulling the data from Cortex agent, pulling metrics from there, and just passing it to the probe, to this particular node. So yeah, this is about, like, how we have done plugin part. In the pools, basically pools is something which is, Sistos parse pool. So this is like PVC, and these are like PV, but not actual PVs. These are storage pool. This is storage pool claim. This is pool. So these are like OpenEBS specific concepts, where your data resides on each pool, and each pool is on a particular disk, some part of a disk, or on the group of disk. So that is also there. And you can see, like, these details which we showed you already. And yeah, these are basically, all OpenEBS specific stuff. And yeah, that's all. So our main proposal here is, like, we should break this topology pods into volumes, so that pods won't be cluttered, and have different volumes view, where user can actually see volumes and whatever the pod is consuming that particular volume.
Yeah, I was wondering if so the initial issue was pods view stops showing volumes because if you filter to a namespace, because they're not in a namespace, right?
Yeah, right.
So you have a volumes view which sort of shows all volumes unfiltered plus pods that they're connected to. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Because this pod is consuming this particular PVC. This particular pod is consuming this particular PVC. So it makes sense to show it in the volumes view.
I mean, I think that's a good idea at top level, like all volumes plus related pods. I'm wondering if we should still have, like, all pods plus related volumes on the pods view, because it's kind of symmetrical. I'm not too bothered. I mean, I think the
Brian,
go on.
I'm sorry. Okay, just 1 second. We could not hear you, like, past 2 minutes. Voice is breaking.
Maybe if I turn off my video, it will get better. Sometimes that happens. So you can hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah. So I was floating the idea that so you've described a view which is all volumes plus related pods, and I was floating the view that the other one should be all pods plus related volumes, and it's kind of symmetrical. The problem we had, big problem with the pods one was that it filters out some volumes if you filter on namespaces because they're not in a namespace. But we can fix that the same way we fix things like the internet. Is not filtered out when you in a namespace. The show storage, hide storage buttons they do kind of make the pod view ugly because they make that thing that much bigger. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a great designer. I'm not even a good designer.
Okay.
I know that.
Right.
Go on.
Yeah, actually, Daniel also had the same view on this. Like, we should really put it in front of Bianca or Philip, and somewhat like get some reviews from them.
Yeah, that's a good idea if we can get some time from them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is all we have.
So in the agenda, you put one pull request, which is for the job object.
Yeah, so actually I couldn't get to it this week too.
Okay.
I was on leave like past week, whole week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is still work in progress. Okay. And
Yes,
you
yes.
you put a bunch of issues in, but are you going to make pull requests for some or all of what you've just showed us?
Yes. Actually, we wanted to demo it to you first, so that we agree on that, and then we will start sending one PR at a time, like
Right.
that.
Okay. So I've been typing into the agenda document. Certainly, one comment I would make on the kubectl describe functionality would be to try and format that a little bit nicer than the terminal window.
Yeah, right. Yes, actually, that was kind of a POC for now, but
Okay, sure.
something, yeah, we had something like, creating a new separate window apart from this terminal. Also,
Yeah.
like, we have an idea about, how to copy the logs and how to copy this particular describe, because when you interact with user, so they say like, it is only read only thing. I cannot copy this stuff. So that ability also needs to be there. So we'll file the issue for that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that it would be good sometimes to copy. I mean, you can usually copy individual lines, but if it's like multiple lines, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of logically the same as what you're showing in the terminal. It's just that I think the terminal window is like the ugliest possible.
Yeah, there that requires some UI skills probably. We can fetch some help from Philip next meeting probably for that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, even if it was like black on white to match the rest of the stuff that pops up in scope, and I'm not sure about the font. It may have to be a fixed width font because depending on what you're looking at, some of the stuff that comes out of Kubernetes is kind of formatted in using fixed width font. So that may have to stay, but it just that was what struck me as like a big square box that I think people get why the terminal looks the way it does, but other stuff maybe it doesn't need to look that way.
Yeah.
But it's definitely nice to get that functionality to get the kubectl describe functionality. It's good. The symbols. So I like the symbols on the nodes. Is that actually new, or is that gone in before?
It is totally new. We added the symbols in the UI.
Yeah, so I mean, I like the idea of the symbols. I like the look of the camera. The question mark seemed a little squashed. I don't know. I mean, these are all things that maybe a designer should cast an eye over. What happens if more than one symbol applies to a node? Do you try to draw multiple?
That won't be a case anyway, right? Because status is always a single state.
Oh,
either it's running crash loop back off, or let's say in case of pod, or in our cases that CR has states like offline, online, rebuilding, since that is volume. So yeah.
Okay.
That would, yeah. So maybe we can go through PR.
Two things.
Oh, go through the recent PRs? Yeah. Do you want me to
Can you
do
hear
that?
us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Let me see. I did hear you. Maybe the client has crashed or something.
Can you hear me?
I did hear you. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if my client is working. Hello, hello, hello. Shall I try and share a window? So, oh, what happened there?
Hi, Brian.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Now, actually, we lost the connectivity. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So before moving to this, actually, we were thinking if we could, do one more release for the scope, because the changes like which Akash has sent, right? Two PRs are there, so they are like, really they should really be released as soon as possible.
Okay, so the I don't want to do this. Sorry, let me just rearrange my screen slightly. So the closed PRs,
Yeah.
it's some of this stuff you want to get in. Which ones in particular?
3553.
3553. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough.
And one more is there. I think the link is there.
3553. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to remember who's got permission to do what. I think Satcham has permissions in the repo. Probably does not have permissions to push the images.
Right.
So the release instructions are in the wiki here.
Oh.
So some of it is like how to do a build and so on. So everything down to change log, update the docs, make a release. Yeah, I think no, even that bit's going to work because you can do a GitHub release. So I think this bit is not going to work because you don't have rights to the Weaveworks Docker hub. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to, I think, what would you do? I think you basically make a PR with the changelog changes. Yeah, it's not a huge amount of work, but I might not get to it really quickly.
Okay.
Let's just take a look at what's outstanding. So there's a bunch of things that are work in progress. This one we talk about most weeks. This one is approved. Are we waiting for something there? Okay. So it looks like that's ready to go. I'll just check with Daniel.
Yeah.
This one is approved. Oh, approved 4 hours ago.
Yeah, we can merge it probably.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not logged in as the right user to do that right now, but cool. So there's not much hanging out there, basically. We can make a release, we can get some updates in. It's not going to be any breaking changes, so it's going to be, just a point. What is it going to be?
1.10.2 maybe.
1.10.2, yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look at the issues.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a feeling we're going to get kicked off Zoom in a little while.
Yeah.
Is it saying that already? I can't see it.
Not here.
No? Okay. So issues, I don't know how far back we want to go. DNS flooding. Yeah, I remember that one. When did we have the last meeting? The
14 days.
Yeah, 14 days ago. That's true. Yeah.
The 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
So we should have talked about that one. So we've been talking about this one quite a lot.
Yes.
Confirmation dialogue. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That one was me.
Yeah, this is happening actually.
Yeah.
Filter. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of a dark mode.
Yeah. It will help.
Host shell is empty on first start. Yeah, that sounds quite painful. Container view receiving no nodes. BPF tracker died again. So does he think that fixes it? No, maybe not. All right, it's telling me I have 10 minutes left on the meeting, so that's pretty good. I don't know anything about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was unable to reproduce, and we don't have any logs, so I don't really know how we're going to debug that.
Okay.
Geez. Yeah, I don't know anything about that one either. I'm guessing it has to be some So yeah, if it receives, it's supposed to receive events in order. If it receives an event out of order, it restarts it.
Yeah.
And I think eventually what happened is it restarted 4 times in a row reasonably quickly, which is why it falls back to proc scanning.
Mm.
But this, you know, it's somehow struggling. This is kind of unhelpful because it doesn't tell you which thing. It was the endpoint reporter. Okay, so it's struggling to keep up with everything it's being told. Yeah, so that's probably why it's actually dying. It's not keeping up. Let's do that in a different window too. Well, I can do that offline. I don't really understand what's going wrong for that person, but at some level, it's just not keeping up. Okay. So this one we got to a little bit of a debate about whether we want to add an NS switch file. Which I would do that if I knew of any reason why we want to do it. So the theory was espoused in this issue that it was resolving localhost, and I can't find any code that refers to localhost.
Yes.
So I'm not kind of morally opposed to adding this file. It would be a fix, but I don't know what it's a fix for. So I don't really want to just go fixing things that I don't know where the problem is. And this one was a real problem, I think. This one was, yeah, there should be a dot on the end of that name. So that's pretty. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Cluster dot local dot, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it's a relative name, so it gets tried against all the different search paths. I think he actually shows that happening. Yeah, so it tries it in mydomain.com. It tries it in. Yeah, it basically adds all these different suffixes. And if you put a dot on the end of the name, then it won't do that because it means it's an absolute name. So that is an easy change, but again, I haven't done it. One thing I did do is I tried running scope inside a network namespace, inside a container namespace,
Okay.
which I think is mentioned. Here, yeah. So I tried this, and it appeared to work fine.
Okay. Network, yeah.
And so what's good about that is we can expose metrics and tracing in the standard deployment. So I did not get in fact, I didn't do this bit. And I don't actually understand why it even works without me doing this. So that's why I haven't made a PR yet. I thought I would need to do to change the namespace to root, but everything seemed to work without me doing that. So that's just kind of interesting.
Okay.
And that's basically the only thing I've done on Scope in the past 2 weeks. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. I'll try and get to these other things. If you want to move the release along by making a PR for the release notes or anything like you want to do like that, then please feel free. But
Sure.
I'll get to it someday, hopefully.
So we only need to submit PR for changelog, right?
Yeah, it's just that's like a nice way to do it. You write up the changelog and say this is what's going in the release, and this is the wording, and we can argue about the wording and so on, and then the actual act of running the release is basically putting a tag on the repo, and then stamping the version into a script and pushing the Docker images. So the bit you can't do, I think, is the Docker images. But usually writing the release notes, writing the changelog takes the most time.
Okay.
Because you've got to kind of go hunting down what's changed in the release, and we like to write the release notes from the point of view of an end user. So a release note that sort of says, "Fix the stupid bug."
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? The person who wrote the code knows what it means, but the person reading it doesn't know what it means. So we try and say, like, fix the bug that would hit you if you were using this feature, or something like that. And that's usually what takes the time.
Sure. Yeah. I think our 10-minute deadline is coming to close.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about done. Any more?
No, that's all from our side. We will just try to push for all these issues. We definitely need some help from UI UX. So
okay.
That is
Yeah, we should put that in the minutes then. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know. Philip has been active. I don't know. Bianca might be on holiday. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Bianca might be away.
Okay. No issues. We'll take it later. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Bianca is back next week. No, yeah, like maybe 2 weeks. The beginning of February.
Okay. Sure. Maybe they can come and join next meeting, and we can discuss this stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Let me see.
Next is on 5th February. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much then.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.